Have you ever heard of wounds that appear on the body but don't come from any physical injury? Wounds that bleed without a cut and ache without a bruise? They aren't born from violence or trauma, but from something far deeper, something that feels ancient. Some call this phenomenon the stigmata. Throughout history, there have been captivating, almost unbelievable stories of these mysterious markings appearing on people's hands, feet, foreheads, or sides. They seem to mirror the wounds associated with the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. These are wounds that don't scream for attention, but instead, they seem to carry a silent, profound message. One of the earliest and most famous cases is that of Saint Francis of Assisi. He was a man who renounced a life of immense wealth and comfort to embrace what he called radical compassion. He chose poverty, simplicity, and a life dedicated to serving others. The story goes that one day, during a period of intense prayer on a remote mountain, he entered a state of such deep, surrendered connection that his body began to reflect his spiritual focus. Wounds appeared on his hands and feet as if he had been pierced. It wasn't a physical injury that caused this, but a profound, overwhelming empathy. It's a powerful idea, isn't it? That sometimes when the heart opens so completely to the suffering of the world, the body itself begins to bear witness. But the story of stigmata isn't confined to faith alone. Modern psychology offers a fascinating perspective. It talks about somatic memory, the idea that our bodies can hold on to and express experiences and emotions that our conscious minds might have forgotten or suppressed. Psychologists have observed phenomena where, under states of deep emotional trance or intense identification with a story or a person, the mind can actually imprint a physical mark onto the flesh. The body, in this sense, remembers what the soul carries. If the soul loves deeply, the body might feel warm. If the soul hurts profoundly, the body might manifest that pain. The body is simply responding to the powerful language of the inner self. Let's travel to another realm of thought, Kabbalah, the ancient Jewish mystical tradition. Here, the explanation is different yet again. Kabbalah teaches that certain souls are born with an extraordinary sensitivity, a unique capacity to not only feel their own life's pain, but to absorb and hold the suffering of others, even of generations past. According to this belief, these souls don't bleed simply to suffer. They bleed to transform that suffering. They become a vessel through which collective pain can be processed, understood, and ultimately healed. In this view, pain isn't just a negative experience or a darkness to be avoided. When it's understood and held with purpose, it becomes a doorway to greater wisdom and compassion. This brings us to a more modern and well-documented case. Padre Pio, an Italian priest who lived in the 20th century. For over 50 years, he bore the visible marks of the stigmata. His hands were wounded, his feet were marked, and his side was opened. Thousands of people flocked to see him, drawn by these incredible signs. But those who met him often said that the most striking thing about him wasn't the blood on his hands. It was the look in his eyes. They described seeing the eyes of someone who was carrying a burden far greater than his own, a weight that didn't seem to belong to him. And yet, he carried it with an unmistakable love. This, perhaps, is the true hidden meaning of the stigmata. It's not about proving a miracle. It's not a spectacle for the curious. It's about remembrance. It's a physical reminder that we are not islands, that the soul is not separate from the suffering of others. It suggests that when one person suffers, something in the collective human spirit responds. That we are all connected in ways we may not fully understand. These wounds aren't necessarily punishments or curses. Think of them as messages. Messages written on the body saying, "We are connected. You're not alone in your pain." We feel each other. Sometimes the ability to feel that deeply, to empathize so completely, is the greatest act of love possible. So, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt a sudden wave of sadness that wasn't yours? A grief you couldn't quite explain? A sorrow without a clear source or a name? Maybe you've walked into a room and felt the heavy atmosphere, or listened to a friend's story and felt their pain in your own chest. It might just be that your soul is remembering something ancient, something tender, something we all share. It's a whisper from that deep, interconnected part of our humanity. The stigmata, in its most poetic sense, isn't just a wound. It's the body's way of whispering a timeless truth, saying the heart still cares, the soul still feels. And against all odds, love is still alive. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration today. If this story resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you'd like this video. And subscribe to the channel for more journeys into the mysteries of the human experience. Take care, and see you next time.